Thank you for another feature of UnifyChai. Today we have Mrs. Iyengar, who is a instructor of the company Rangoli Dance Company. And today we're just going to be learning a little bit more about what inspired her to start this business and her journey throughout the process. The first question that we have for you is, could you tell us a little bit more about what Rangoli Dance Company is and like what inspired you to start it?
Yeah, sure. The word Rangoli itself, it's a visual art, it's a visual design that that I used to do as a young girl that my mother taught me, and in front of the threshold of the house or for some festivities using colored powder, rice powder, and to do different kinds of designs on the floor, and that what it stood for, how it's transmitted through oral tradition and skills given by basically women, mother to daughter, and women in the communities. And I was always inspired with those kind of activities. So that's how come I named that company also Rangoli, because I used to do it myself a lot in India. And dance came to me very late in my life, because when my daughter turned 6 years old, she wanted to learn Bharatanatyam, and I come from a family of musicians and artists. So I went in search of a good teacher in India, and mainly for my daughter. And some friends, some of our good friends, recommended me to Guru Narmada, a wonderful teacher in Bangalore, and that's how come I invited her to come to United States. At first, she thought it was a joke, but then when I sent her the ticket and air ticket and all the sponsorship letter, so she used to come twice a year, December, January, and then June, July, to teach my daughter Lakshmi. But then I also ended up learning along with her as an adult. So, and then that way my teacher came about 8 to 9 years, twice a year, every year. And then that's how, I did my Arangetram, the solo dance debut. My daughter did. And then I went on to, because I wanted it to be more relevant to the current times and also the mainstream, our children here. So I wanted to study a little bit more. And then I went to UCLA to do my MFA, which is in choreography, because I wanted to have more ways to interpret that, the traditional beautiful artwork for the current times and the kids born and brought up here. That's how come I did my choreography major. And Rangoli was born in 1985, and I called it Rangoli Dance Company.
Thank you
I,
so
I
much.
kind of said a lot in a short time.
No, no. Thank you so much for sharing more about your journey. One thing that we found especially inspirational was when you talked about like your guru as well as like other women in your life who have helped you throughout this journey and inspired you to create this. We were wondering a little bit more about how your guru inspired you, as well as like how other women in the past have inspired you in creating this.
Yeah. I will start with my guru, because she's herself a woman, Guru Narmada, who had so many challenges in her life, and yet she persevered. In at the age of, she was learning dance from a wonderful traditional teacher from Chennai, very authentic, way of dancing and everything. But then at a very young age, when she was barely 25, 26, she lost her husband. He passed away in a big car accident or something. And then a year after that or something, she lost her dad. And then a year or two later, her mom. So all the important people in her life were gone before the age of 30, 32. So I think what made her, her guru, dance teacher, told her, look, dance is a wonderful way for you to keep occupied, and then you can pass this on to other people. And then she ended up becoming a wonderful dance teacher, a really well-known dance teacher. And for me, meeting her was very inspiring, because I felt here is a lady who has gone through so many losses, profound losses in her life, but yet she is so high spirited, she's so energetic, so inspiring, and doesn't show anything when she's teaching or interacting with her students. And that was a very positive kind of a role model for me. And then my mother, another huge role model for me because she lost her mother when she was only 10 months. So she was raised by her grandmother very nicely, and her own uncles and aunts who all raised her, but she was so bent on having to have her kids at least get some good education, give them some kind of art forms, culture, customs. So, and then, that kind of passed on like that. So that I feel I have had a really profound experiences with both my teacher and my mother in my life.
Perfect. We really love hearing how all of these women like help shape your journey and then the journey of Rangoli Dance Company. So really and how that also like how it shaped your culture and your experiences. So we were just wondering, um, so basically how do you use the Indian classical dance Bharatanatyam as a way to connect to your roots, like growing up or even for your daughter?
I look at Bharatanatyam as not just a art form, I look at it as a way of life. And I feel that when I'm teaching, when I was, of course, she's a matured adult now. When I was teaching her or any of my dance students that I teach, who are like my daughters in a way, I feel I kind of try to impress upon them that through submitting or surrendering to the process of the dance journey, wanting to be a good dancer or wanting to get these skills, when you keep working at it to be good in the technique or the storytelling in the form, it molds your own behavior, your own personality. How does it do that? It shapes your thinking. You build perseverance, your stamina, both in your mind and your body, and you kind of start to center yourself. You feel that that this is art is much larger than me, dance is much larger than me, it's not just about me. And those kind of humility and patience with yourself, all those life building skills is what they get, I hope. And I think that's how I look at Bharatanatyam, as not just learning a couple of dances and showing or sharing with public, but it's more about applying it to your daily life itself.
Right. Thank you so much for that answer. And we think it's really inspirational how you manage to like stay true to your roots and how you like use your culture and your talents and embrace it in a way that like helps you learn a little bit more about your roots. We were also wondering, like a big aspect of our platform is on advocacy, and we were wondering how you would inspire others to stay true to their culture, and like such as like with dance and other like hobbies or practices that they may have as like being a minority culture in this country.
That's a great question, actually. I will say that don't be embarrassed by your culture. Don't be embarrassed by the customs, because it's more than the culture, it's the customs that sometimes make us feel embarrassed about it. Oh, do I put the bindi or not put the bindi? Or I wear my kurta like this, sari like this. We talk like this, we have accent. All those things are sometimes kind of, it feels like we are different from others. Actually, there is beauty in being different. That's where the strength is. The reason is, it would be so boring if all of us were same. Where would there be any interest in learning about the other? It's really the other, being open to staying true to who you are. It may take a little time to discover that, but then it's okay not to be embarrassed or shy about who we are. It's fine. We can always find a good balance.
Perfect. And basically, coming off of that question with not being embarrassed about your culture and embracing it, how do you think newer generations can continue to advocate for and continue the legacy of their own culture and like South Asian art forms?
I think that I have tried my best to not dilute what I teach or what I speak, what I say, not give into too much or anything about fusion as much as possible. I mean, this is my way of doing it. I'm sure other people have other ways, but I feel our authentic, a lot of these works and cultures and traditions are dying already. They are dying, we are losing it. So if people like us, we have the opportunity to be the tradition bearers, culture bearers. If we don't do something to hold those elements that hold that tradition or the culture or the custom, then it will be gone even more. So that's what I try to do.
Thank you for the response. We were also wondering, where do you think, because we know that you started Rangoli Dance Company a while back. So we were wondering, like, how do you think that the view on cultural art practices has changed since you moved here? And like, where do you want it to go in the future? Or like, where do you see it going in the future in a positive manner?
Well, I can only speak about through the art forms that I see and I do. I cannot generalize it, but I have to try and be a little more specific because from what I pursued and from what I'm still trying to share with my community or with my students, whatever, I see a whole lot of mediocrity.
Right.
That is where it makes me uh, a bit sad that that it seems like it's okay to accept less and gloat over it more. Mediocrity is okay, and just to do a little bit and feel like I'm doing a lot. People are celebrating those kind of things, and even with respect to teaching, there's just um, so much more can be done to our children, because especially between the ages of 6 and 14 you can give them so much, whereas if we keep giving them and expect less from them, they will only give you half of it. You have to expect a lot more out of your children. They'll give it back. That's how I feel.
Perfect. We really like that output and like that a take you have on like children and cultural experiences. And with that, can you share like any memorable experiences you have had with Rangoli Dance Company and how that have impacted your personal perspective on cultural preservation?
That's a there's so much, Samira. You know what I'm saying is there's so many things hard to kind of. I mean, if I had some of these questions sent to me ahead, maybe I would pinpoint on one or two incidents. So I'm just trying to see, um, you know, every time we present something or I teach something, I either get a note or an email or something about how it has impacted them or how it has made a difference in their lives. And that kind of makes me feel like I should continue with the same grit and fervor and everything. I can't think of one incident. It's hard to remember.
That's okay, but we really love seeing how your students like write back to you and how that's really helped you keep going and helped like different students really reflect on their journeys.
Yeah, thank you. May I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Sorry
of
about,
course.
how did you hear about me, to talk to me?
So, well, I was basically just looking through like Instagram and trying to look for different South Asian women. So I was going through different Instagram pages that like are very representative, and I found you and your followers. And I personally am a dancer, so I was really inspired by your story and wanted to help like talk to you as well.
I see. I see that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
One last question that we had, a big aspect of our platform is like in UnifyChai, the chai aspect. And we like to ask everyone that we interview about what their favorite snack recipe is that comes with chai and like what they like to eat during like the day whenever they drink chai as a way to show like despite all of our different like diverse backgrounds and our differences, we have one thing in common, which is chai and like the different snacks that we enjoy with it. So we were wondering if you could share a little bit more about what your favorite snack is and like why you tend to like enjoy or prefer that snack.
Yeah, I like all Indian spicy snacks. More than the sweet ones, I like the spicy ones. Not just one thing, but I also like masala chai, and I like good English tea, Darjeeling tea, once in a while I like to have all those things. Um, but you know, I like our, the South Indian snacks that my mom always used to make, in that, they're all crispy, rice flour and, lentil based, those kind of crispy snacks that are savory and spicy. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. At some time, like after the interview, if you could send us like a recipe of your favorite snack or just like a name of a snack that you tend to enjoy, would you be able to do that so that way we could feature it on our website and our platform as well?
Sure, it may take me a little time, but I'll do it.
Oh, of course,
That's
right.
right. Take as much time as you need.
I'll be happy to do it. Maybe I'll send you my mom's. I just have to kind of, uh, the thing is with my mom has written wonderful. She was a absolutely amazing cook. Book for me. I have it, but a lot of them are not there. The proportions are not there exactly. Like
Yeah.
one cup of this, two teaspoons. Like how they give recipes in this country, it's not written like
Right.
that. Because some are written that way. Some are like you eyeball it, right?
Mhm.
The way.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll find one that's a little bit more clear for people to get it, and then I'll send it.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming to talk to us, especially at this time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, girls. Thank you so much. Thank you for including me in your platform. Yeah.
Thank you.